Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this video is all about the new moon of the 20th of February, which has an imperative for each of us to contact our shadow material for vision insight to arise and for us to grasp our primal fire as well. So this new moon of the 20th of February is Sun and Moon at 7 degrees Aquarius in the reclusive, introverted, moody, healer energy nakshatra of Shatabhishak in the sidereal zodiac of Vedic astrology. That's 1 degree Pisces in the Western tropical zodiac. And the point is, Lilith is square the nodal axis, where also note that Ketu, the south node, transits Libra, the sign of relationships. More about that below. And also note that it's quite a divisive energy with all the planets to one side of the nodal axis except for Mars. So because it is in Shatabhishak Nakshatra, the wonderful, very accurate declaration of the 27 sign lunar zodiac of Vedic astrology, the Nakshatras, the key energy of this new moon is definitely one of seclusion. Within that seclusion, drive for insight, but also empowered unfolding of your shadow material because Lilith is square the nodal axis. But don't fall for just that. I feel it's essential at this reclusive time to also realise that the dominant call to each of us is also that we contact our primal fire. The ancient Norse creation myth actually came to my mind when I was analysing this chart for the new moon. And in that ancient myth, with all the power that myth in fact holds, from the primal void called Gunungagap, from the union of fire and ice, the first being called Mimir arose. So we don't just want the reclusive energy of Shatabhishak Nakshatra with all its insights and realizations. We also need our fire. So we must take time at the time of this new moon to look for valuable insights and healing realizations, which are so much the nature of Shatabhishak Nakshatra, where the sun and moon are. But we must not just reside there. We must also grasp the fire of action to do something about our realizations and to make them fully real and fully relevant to where we're at. We must also make contact with our shadow material because Lilith is square the nodal axis. In fact, Lilith is square the nodal axis in the new moon of the 21st of March next month too. And my point is that when a planet is square the nodal axis, that gives this planet special force and significance. The nodal axis is the direction of our fate and destiny. And so to have Lilith square that gives the call to us to contact our shadow material a fated, destined importance in the unfoldment of our life, in the fulfilling of our spiritual potential. So we have to honour at the time of this new moon and the next one the fact that we have to delve into our shadow as a key, necessary part of our growth now, of our soul evolution, of the positive progression of our incarnational life path. And we need to do this for the proper and full realization of our destiny. So we ask ourselves, what is buried out of sight in our shadow? What was stuffed down there? There'll be things that were stuffed down into our shadow that just weren't allowed by our parents, teachers, priests, society, and so forth. But in addition to those, there'll also be hugely powerful things that we just weren't allowed to own. Oh, no, you can't be as powerful as that. And so we're digging into our shadow at the time of this new moon and this upcoming lunation for buried, difficult things, but also needed power. And indeed, because it's Lilith involved, Lilith is square the nodal axis, it is so important to hear this, that we do need to contact and identify and then express our buried and disallowed wild side, our wild side. Obviously, there can be good reasons for not just letting rip with our wild side, but we have to be able to identify it and express it with spiritual awareness and in an ethical way. Otherwise, we're a limp shadow of who we were born to be. And so get a reading from me about your Lilith, this new moon, the year ahead, and any other questions about your life. And it's so crucial to note that Lilith here is square the nodal axis, where Ketu, the south node of the moon, is transiting now Libra. And what is Libra? Libra is the sign of relationships, so everybody in the world is given great scope for growth crises in relationship. And with Lilith square Ketu now, our buried psychological material, our hurts and wounds and disempowerments, as well as our wild side nature, are crucial agenda for fulfilling our relationship potential. This is a fact. It mustn't be washed away or ignored. With Lilith involved, our buried wild side must be allowed to express now. And as I said, expressed ethically and positively and with awareness in relationship, and maybe through things like, dance and music or whatever, poetry. So the call now, at the time of this new moon, is to perceive the unseen and the unknown. Not just that though, also to create new ideas and ways of expressing themselves and manifest those into reality. It really is a call for each of us to sort of cut the crap and triumph through courage and love. And because Shatabishak is involved as the nakshatra where the new moon is, beware mentalism. Mentalism can hold too much sway, and formula can hold too much sway with Shatabishak energy. So what we're talking about here is expressing and contacting our body wisdom, the fullness of our unconsciousness and shadow. You see, the nature of Shatabishak nakshatra, where this new moon falls, is very enclosed. Its symbol is actually a circle, a protective enclosing circle. But it's not as simple as that, because its ruler is actually Rahu, the north node of the moon. And so, within its strict confines, it's ambitious and driven. And so, within its strict confines, it can be spiritually elitist, opinionated, fanatical. Its driven energy can give way to power-seeking on the one hand and panic on the other. But within that Shatabhishak energy, most definitely, are veiled healing realizations and philosophical secrets. So yes, let's focus at the time of this new moon to contact the secrets, to develop swift perception of what's unseen and unknown, but crucial for each of us, and to bring that awareness to each of us to heal and use it. But as I said, there's also the call, do not stick within the enclosing Shatabhishak circle. The call also is to find and embrace our primal fire. That way we will express ourselves fully and with the energy of spiritual awareness and come better into our fullness at this time. Now, another key factor is that this new moon is, sun and moon within 3 degrees of Saturn. So be aware that Saturn will hold his grip. He will demand hard work and practicality. But he won't be as confining and frustrating as he was, because the Sun has now passed Saturn at the time of this new moon. The gap has widened. Another special important thing to know of and note is that this stellium of Saturn conjunct Sun and Moon is actually the apex of a psychic eye triangle chart aspect shape. The base of the psychic eye is Pluto sextile the Venus-Neptune conjunction. And Pluto and Venus-Neptune are actually each semi-sextile with the Saturn-Sun-Moon stellium. This is a psychic eye. Your realizations will be that much better and deeper and unexpected at the time of this new moon. Do bear that in mind. Do look for it. Do give space for the realizations. I do a lot of shamanic drumming healing online, and it's incredible what can arise in terms of visions and realizations during shamanic drumming, but that's just one example. So, it's not only the new moon square the nodal axis, it's also the additional psychic insight available to you and me from the psychic eye. And remember, the Venus-Neptune conjunction is the highest in love and beauty at its best. Strive to see that. Strive to connect to that. Strive to hold on to that and make it practical, earthed and real. And a final special factor I would name that we need to be aware of and seek connection to is that Jupiter is conjunct Chiron at the time of this new moon. So each of us needs to be aware of the nature, deeply aware of the nature of his or her existential wound. Not only is Lilith activated, but also Chiron. What house and sign in your birth chart does Chiron occupy? What planets in your birth chart does Chiron aspect? make the effort to get clear that realization, and then bring it into your consciousness. See how you feel about it. See what healing direction you want to achieve starting at the time of this new moon. Be open to digging into that Chiron existential wound of yours and identify what more healing, what next healing step is needed to produce the you that you crave to stand upright as in your life. Take steps to bring in some healing of your existential wound now. Include this in your new moon work, and indeed, as always, there's a separate video I offer if you want to do a vision journey to better connect yourself to the energies of this new moon and to use those energies to empower and heal yourself. So, wishing you energy and insights, but also contacting your fire to bring out your fullness and make achievements at the time of this new moon. If you want a reading from me, go to my Star Wheel Astrology website, and also have a look at my new Love Star Dating website. My wife, Maggie Pashley, does many different healing modalities worldwide online. Thank you.